positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. You have now tuned in to the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. We in here?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Oh, as usual. Positive energy and good vibrations from me to you.
Yes, sir, from me to you.
It's your boy, RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, and
your boy, JP, the Imperfect Husband.
And this is another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. What's good, good people? What's the word, kid?
What it do?
How you, man?
You doing all right?
You stepped off the continent for a little minute. You know what I mean?
I did.
You stepped out at the good old U.S. for 2 seconds to go check on the peoples, man. So welcome back to the soil.
Thank you.
Welcome back. And before we get into the conversation, because I'm kind of itchy right now to get to jump into the topic, I got to make sure that I do not do what we did last week, which is not pray.
Hold up. I got to sit to that.
Word, my man Jose was doing the edits.
Yeah, I know I called them out.
You better believe he did. He's doing the edits, and he sent it over to me and everything. We're doing the final things off. He's like, "Yo, listen. By the way, don't forget, you didn't pray this episode." I was like, "Ooh, shots fired! Shots fired!" So,
well. Now they probably saying over there, "Well, why didn't you pray?"
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Yeah. Get the bullets off my back a little bit. Shoot at him a little bit. I likes that. Yeah. Why you ain't pray, homie?
He's deeper found when it comes to
it. Yo, that's something that that could be you and my wife could be related on the low, because that's
a Dominican thing, isn't it?
Because she always uses that. Anything that she wants me to do, she says, "Oh, well, you're better at it." You see what that is? I'm learning. I'm catching on. Before we go any further, before we get anything started, let's do our due diligence before I get in trouble again this week. With that being said, gracious and eternal Father, thank you for allowing us to be imperfect. Thank you for allowing us to make the mistakes that we make throughout our entire existence, but you still love us. You still breathe the breath of oxygen into our lungs no matter how many times we mess up. And for that, God, we say thank you. For that, we say we are grateful, because the grace that you give us, we don't deserve, and we appreciate it each and every day, because we don't deserve even the oxygen that we breathe, but because you are who you are to us, you make sure that we are here and we are where we need to be. And these things we are grateful for. So right now, Father, as we sit in front of these microphones, we ask you to go out across the airways there and be what you need to be to everyone that's listening to us. In the mighty name of Jesus, we do pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yes, so that's the best part about the understanding that the God we serve is that, like, we don't have to be perfect, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, how dope is that? Like, we don't have to be perfect. I put a post up on my Facebook this past week, was like, yo, I'm a better man now because I now realize I don't have to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, yep. It's a weight off your back, bro.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It definitely is.
I'm relieved, man. You know, I'm just knowing, like, I don't have to get it right, because as fathers, imperfect ones, we're not gonna get it right. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of things that we do, we're learning as we go along. And we talked about this earlier. I seen a post on Instagram, and the guy was saying that it's amazing that grandparents seem to be the most loving ones by all the children, and it's only because they got it right. And they got it right because they had 2 opportunities.
Yeah, 2 chances.
You know what I'm saying? So as parents, as fathers, real time, we're learning along with our children. So we're going to get some things wrong.
I just told my daughter that.
Yeah.
I'm only a father as long as you've been a daughter.
Yeah. Real rap. I've only been a father as long as you've been a daughter.
So we're both learning.
Yeah.
We're going to make mistakes.
On the road.
As long as we're able to realize that we've made a mistake and come back and attempt to correct it, that's as much as we can do.
That's all we can do, honestly, bro. Because you don't know what you don't know. And if you've never been in a situation, until you're in it, you don't know what to expect, you don't know what to do. And whatever you do on that first go round, you don't know if it's right or wrong. You're just going on based on what you feel or think at the moment.
You only fail if you believe you know it all.
Oh, shit. So, say that again.
So we just got to keep learning day by day because you only fail when you believe you know it all.
That's a fact, bro. That's we could turn the mics off on that one. Shoot, because that's so real, bro. It is so real. Like once you believe you know it all, that's when you really messed up. Excuse me. It's like it's a constant learning, and like I'm grateful. And I told you a story earlier that my mother showed my daughter that I'm not just her father. I was telling you a story just earlier that over the holiday season, my mom came over, and you know, my mother is just Sharon. You know what I'm saying? Anybody knows her, you know when I say she's just who she is. And I did something in the house, and it caused her to yell at me and like just tell me something abruptly. So when my mother yelled at me, my daughter looked over and was like, "Oh." I said to her, "Yeah, I'm not just your daddy. I'm her son."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like that brings a perspective to my daughter where it's like, oh, he's not just this tyrant. He's not just this person that just tells me what to do all the time. He actually has to listen to someone. He actually has someone over him.
Superman has a superwoman, huh?
Right. And that brings a perspective to children. It's like, oh, well, you have someone else that told you what to do before I got here. And like that thought process for them is hard for them to grasp that before they got here, we were them. You know what I'm saying?
And even like that, it's still hard for them to grasp. They still believe that we were born adults.
Which is crazy. Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. A little bit of that makes sense when you think about it, because my man was like, yo, do you know we could start saying that 20 years ago we was grown?
Shut up, bro. What you saying, bro? I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
I told him the same thing. I was like, yo, David, shut up, bro. Don't ever say that again out loud.
Shit. You gonna make YouTube block me for cussing over here, bro. What you doing?
We about to get all the strikes today, man, because it's real when you really start putting things in perspective, bro.
That's hard, bro.
Yeah.
20 years ago,
I was grown.
I was already grown.
That's crazy. Yo, you know, when you was young, you heard your older people saying, oh yeah, about 15, 20 years ago. When they
thought that was it was centuries.
You was like, damn, you was that old? Like you can say 20 years ago? And now here we are. Can legitimately say 20 years
nuts.
ago. I was 20 years ago.
That's nuts.
It is.
Bro.
It is.
Bro,
let's not do that.
I was 25 20 years ago. Sheesh.
Damn, bro. It's real. It's real. It's real. I told you.
I was already able to get into Latin quarters because you know that was 25 and up.
Wow. Yo, and here I am at that time still sneaking in.
Myself.
It worked for real. Because I'm telling you, Latin quarters was not around when I was in the streets. That 5-year gap was real, kid. A lot of things happened in that 5-year span, bro. Listen, the truth of the matter, if you think about it, things happen just that quick. And like that 5-year span, like 5 years sound like a short time, but it's a long time. A lot of things that happen in that time span, bro, of 5 years. Man. So when we sit here talking about it was 25, I'm 20. Man, do you remember what you was doing at 25, bro?
Listen.
Thank God we ain't got no digital footprint. Woo!
There was no iPhones back then.
There
were, but it wasn't as advanced as it is now.
Nah, 20 years ago, was it iPhones?
That's 2004. Yeah, bro.
Yeah. I had
iPhone 1.
Right. Damn. Yo, you know what?
I think so. Hold up.
Let's turn this episode off. We're aging ourselves.
I'm gonna Google this because I just want to make sure because I'm almost positive.
He's about to make us even older right now, in real time.
iPhone.
Thanks, Jose.
1.
Damn.
Release.
Y'all be 40
I still had
a
Star Tag, bro. No, iPhone 1 came out 2007.
Right.
2007 for only $500. We're paying $1,500 for these shits now.
Joe, 15, 16, 1,700? Bro.
Well, I know that back in 2005, I still had a StarTAC.
Nah, in 2005.
No, I'm lying.
You was
I had a
Nextel. Word, I'm about to say.
Nextel.
You can't
I had
front
the bleep,
on the bleep bleeps.
I had the bleep bleep.
You can't front on it. Yo, and let me tell you, shout out to Nextel, man. Yo,
I had the bleep bleep.
it was life was life when you had Nextel because all you had to do was find the person you wanted to hit, and you had their little two-way number. You had to keep your speaker off because you could be in the middle somewhere important, and you hear your man's.
That used to happen all the time.
You be in class. Yo,
because you already know that Nextel was bulky, bro. It's like you had a hand on your waist, bro.
Yo, listen,
like that.
It was like this. It was the size of the phone, looked like this long, but it was like this thick.
You could smack somebody with it.
Yo, that's a weapon, bro. Especially the first Nextels before they started folding. You know what I'm saying? The brick Nextel. You dig what I'm saying? Like that was the one where you might get the charge.
No, that it did fold, but it was only a flap. Oh, it was only the little flap
with the little circle on the front of that with the small little glass. Yes. Yeah. Listen, for all y'all millennials and that don't know what we're talking about, this episode ain't for y'all. Okay? Don't get in the comments talking crazy. This episode is not for y'all. Wait for next week, okay? We're going down memory lane right now. I apologize.
Wait till they Google StarTAC, bro.
Yo, when they see what that looks like.
What's a StarTAC?
Yo,
what is that?
Motorola? Motorola.
How did you use that?
Word. It didn't have no color on the screen?
Oh, man.
Wow.
How about the two-way pages? The Motorola two-way pages, the colored ones. The ones that Jay-Z made famous. No. This right here.
That was a sidekick.
That right there is the sidekick. That's AOL right there. That's AOL
two-way pager was this.
Yes.
It was to open like a computer, right? A laptop.
The first texting device.
A texting device?
That was our first texting device. Because before that, you would have to send messages through the beeper. With numbers upside down.
And then you had to tell him, you had to go to a payphone to call him back.
Yup. Or they will send codes like
143, I love you.
Bezos.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. We all had.
Let's go bed.
And you had to turn it upside down to read it. You couldn't read it regular against those regular numbers. You had to turn your beeper upside down.
Oh, man.
And you could tell when it was somebody, when one of your mans got a beep, and it was one of his girls, he turned it upside down, and he was like, "Y'all gotta go, y'all.
Yeah.
I gotta go. Yo, listen. That was a memory lane for all the old heads out there. So everybody who's 35 plus, you welcome. And anybody who is less than that, younger than that, mind your business. This is grown folk business. We ain't talking to you.
But the best part of all of it was when you would turn on your computer and it'll go. You got mail.
Oh, yo. State your words. You didn't feel like somebody. Because I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I was broke. So I was using the AOL disc, and
you're not the only one.
I was taking my AOL disc out and switching out with somebody else from school.
That's you're not the only one right there.
Word. So listen. Am I the only one this week? Am I the only one that was taking AOL disc from everybody else and using them every month?
Stacks, AOL disc, and Netscape Navigator.
Facts.
Stacks
had a bunch of
this,
them. Yes,
to renew them
because they only last like a month or something like that.
6 months,
right? It only lasts.
No, 3 months. 3 months. 3 months.
Facts.
3 months.
So you had to get another one, and you had to catch it before it went off the expiration date. For you had to do it all over again.
Yup,
man.
Or making beats on the PlayStation.
Ooh. or burning CDs on LimeWire,
bro. Download them. And then burn them.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
Yep.
LimeWire.
Before LimeWire.
What was the other one?
Before LimeWire. Let's see if you know.
Nah, bro. I wasn't dibbling and dabbling before LimeWire. That was my first one.
Napster.
Oh, nah. I wasn't on Napster. I can't even front. You got me on that one.
Napster was it before LimeWire.
Yeah, because y'all had no regulations It was no regulations to Napster, I heard, right?
You already know.
Facts.
Now you better be careful.
Corn.
You download the wrong thing, your whole computer's gone.
Straight blue. Screen straight blue.
Your whole computer gone.
You get that message, that error message, you're like, oh, I don't even know what to do with this. Take the whole computer, take it outside, toss it, it's over with.
Bruh, those were the days.
Yes.
Those were
shout out to our youth, man. Shout out to our youth, man. Because for real, when you think about it, that's what got us here, man. And that's what like made the kids what they are today. What we went through to get to where we are right now, to get the life where we have right now. We had to go through our childhood and our lumps and our bruises, man.
Yeah, but once again, we went through one of our tangents. There we go.
Nah, but it was a good one. And it was nostalgic for everybody that's 35 or older. It was definitely nostalgia. But
and if they're not,
mind your business.
No. And they had older brothers.
Facts.
They experienced it too.
Word is bond.
They were scheming behind and wanted to see what the brother was doing.
Word, trying to peek in the room through the door. Like, what you doing? What are you doing over there? If you don't tell me, I'm telling mommy.
What's NYC chat?
Word, what's AOL online? What's that? Why keep blinging?
Oh, man.
Nah, bro. But those is literally the days that, like, made us. We start realizing we making our own decisions at that point. You realize we had the ability at that point to start making decisions on what we should be doing, not be doing.
Yeah, and also we should take that as times to reflect and understand where our kids are at, right?
Facts.
Because the same thing that we went through when it came to AOL and navigating the web when it was in its prime. I mean, in its beginnings, is more or less what they're going through, navigating through these phones.
Right.
What's the difference? That the exposure that exists now didn't exist.
Right.
Back when we were coming up with computers, right? Because all the pornography that appears on the internet now, back then you can only find in
dark sites.
Yeah, exactly. In the dark webs.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not everybody
sites.
was able to find these sites, right?
Right.
And also they were the way that the chat system, that the messaging system exists now wasn't as big as back then, right? Like for you to be able to speak with people.
Access to now. It's direct access now.
For you to be able to speak with people before online, you would either have to go onto a bulletin board like 4chan
or forums
or forums or IRC chats.
Right.
That's how people used to communicate. Those were the chat groups. Right. Besides the AOLs, which were the pretty ones for the regular people. But anybody who knew about systems would go to the IRC chats because that's where you would be able to speak with people that knew about computers and be able to get the information that you would want, right? But now it's just in their hand. It's on their phone.
Literally, bro. It's literally it's on their phone. And tip of our fingers.
And it's listening, right? So you mention something
on your feed,
and you're going to get some sort of promotion or ad.
Commercial. Yes, sir.
On that. So when you're at home and you're speaking about depression and anxiety and problems within the household, what do you think is going to be the first thing that's going to come up on their feed?
Absolutely.
So now we're opening a Pandora's box for our children without even noticing that we're doing so.
Yeah. It's like the movie Alice in Wonderland. You know what I'm saying? Like, when she goes into that world, and it's like now she's like in this whole space where everything is new, and it's a real world because she's submerged in it, but it's not reality.
But it's not.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what we let our kids getting submerged in right now. And this is what the danger of it all is to me. It's like our children don't know the dangers of that world.
They do not. The consequences that come with what they're indulging in. And if we're not vigilant and on top of them, we will lose them.
Very much so.
We will lose
them. I looked up this just this past week, and one of my daughter's friends at school, they were playing this game from what do you call it? One of the apps that they have, right? And it's one of those apps where it's like the person dances, that's teaching them dance moves. So they were doing the dance moves, and it was innocent. But then when I left and came back in the room, they were doing a different dance move, and I asked them, "Where'd you learn that at? Where'd you learn that specific move at?" Oh, it's something that we do in class. It's something you do in class. Now that tells me it's not just you amongst your friends. Now there's an older influence that is showing you this?
Or allowing it to happen.
To happen, right. Because now it's not okay in my presence. So now there's somewhere you can go and that is okay. That's where I'm just like, yo, hold on. Because if I'm having a standard in one area of your life, but then you can go somewhere else and that standard is not being upheld, then I have a problem as a parent. Yeah. You can't be in that environment. Me and my wife just had a conversation today. My daughter won't be going back to the same school she went to. Whoever don't like it, whoever has a problem with that, holla at me.
Can address it. Come speak to me.
Check it or respect it. That's how I live my life.
Come speak to me. We can sit down and have this conversation.
Believe I have no problem with it. Because what I'm not going to allow is my daughter to pick up things and behaviors from people that just believe that that's okay. Like, I'm not judging you. If that's what you want to do for you and yours, more power to you. I don't have no problem with it. But like my mother used to tell me, as for me and my house, as for me and mine, we don't tolerate that. And there's a standard that a dockery child comes out of my household will uplive with. You will uphold the standard of your last name. I don't care about nothing else. But I told my daughter today, you are a dockery. And that means something. When you walk out of that house, when you enter into the world, you wearing my name on your back. That's not something to take lightly. And you will uphold that name. Yeah. And it's my job to teach her what that name means. You know what I'm saying? It's my job to teach her, do you know what that name means you're wearing? Do you know what that actually means? What does it mean to you? Yeah. It's my job now as your father to teach you what it means. And to make it mean something to you. Because it could just be a name on the back of their shirt, for all they know. Until we show them, like, yo, this is a standard. It's not just a name. This is a standard. And that you must uphold. And that's not easy, bro. With all the influence that we got going on in the world today, it's a constant fight. Yeah. Constantly.
Building that legacy in the life that we're living now, it is one of the hardest things that we will endure as adults. Yeah. Being able to maintain that legacy without it being taunted.
Because we're fighting against two animals. We're fighting against the influence of outside, and we're fighting against the influence of them just wanting to know more. Yep. Right? Their curiosity.
It's three. The influence of outside, the influence of the phone, and the influence of their curiosity. So it's three worlds that we're fighting against. And it's truthfully, it's not even fighting against, well, yeah, it is fighting against, bro. Yeah, it is. It is fighting against. Because it's a battle. Yeah. And the saddest part about it is that because of the time that we live in, there are battles that we're going to lose just so that we can win the war.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the one thing we gotta swallow our pride at.
Oh boy.
That's the part where we gotta swallow our pride and say, I'm gonna lose this one so I can win this war. Yep. Because it's almost like, you have to swallow your tongue on certain things because you can't jump on everything. You can't attack and pounce on everything because you'll go crazy yourself, right? You'll lose your own peace. You have to give certain leeway, a certain space for them to grow, grace and space to grow in, right? But then it's a thin line because it's like, where is it? Yeah. Especially in this day and age where you have to literally live for them and live in them. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Where it's like, what your eyes see today? What your ears hear today? Like, we got to be on that where our influence is stronger on them than society is. And it's almost impossible because it's a 24-hour news feed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have a 24-hour news feed in our hands. They have a constant news feed flowing to them no matter where they go.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is like, we got to protect our children digitally. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't understand that they have a footprint that we never had. A digital footprint that we never had. We didn't get digital footprint until we was in our late teens, early 20s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by that point, and let me tell you something.
Literally, after 2007, when the iPhone released.
Bro.
Literally.
So if you go back, and right now, thank God that I deactivated the account, so don't go looking for it. I had a Instagram account when Instagram first started. And because in my mind, it was just something that me and my friends was using. We was posting wild stuff.
MySpace.
Please don't go back to that. We're not doing that again, Jose. We went down that tangent already. But that, when you said MySpace, I was like, shit. Like,
keep going.
Yo, because the coding of what my wall looked like.
Keep going.
Yeah, we'll keep going.
Keep going. I know.
My bad. And because
I know I just woke up a lot of people on the other side of that camera.
Yeah, you did. You triggered a lot of people.
Oh, shit. I still got a MySpace.
They're like, how do I get in it? How do I get in it? But the site should be closed, y'all. The site should be closed.
Nah, it's not.
It's not?
It's not. It's not. So, yeah.
Well, you know what? I don't work for no one, thank God. Like, I run my own business. So, yeah, I ain't worried. But anybody out there don't open that. Don't open your MySpace. Leave the dead dogs dead, right? Let them lay where they lay. But what our kids don't realize is that everything that they do online will affect them tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yes. And that's the scary part. Like, they don't understand, like, there are jobs they won't get. Like, me and you as two individuals, minority background, we used to just be looked at and because of racism, yep. we would be cast aside, right? Yep. We would be talked down upon. But now they have a weapon besides our skin color.
Social media.
They can use against them.
Yes.
Oh, when you was 12, you decided you was going to, or when you was 17, you.
Yep.
And that's something they can't hold against us right now.
What is this sign? What does that mean?
Oh boy.
There you go. You just lost your cop opportunity.
Right.
You just lost your opportunity to work
FBI.
for the FBI or
IRS
or
anything.
for the government or whatever, just because you did something like this because you saw somebody else do it.
Right. What does that even mean? You probably don't even know what it means. But because you did it.
Or how kids are taking pictures now that they do something like.
Yeah.
Well, my man, do you know what that stands for? Do you know what that crown stands for?
Hey, and I look at the children as naive as we were. Because if you think back to when we was trying to be cool in the street and trying to walk that line of the straight and narrow and also outside in the street, right? Our thing was the pants sagging. That was the era where we was, that was our freedom call, right? We could do whatever we want. My pants sag and my pants hang.
2 slashing the eyebrow,
trying to wild out. Right? We was bugging, right? But in no actuality, we didn't understand where that came from.
Yeah.
Because once we found out
where that came up.
Where that trend came
Those
from. Those
pants came up quick.
I'm talking about up to the nipples. You hear me? My pants got pulled all the way up.
Those pants came up quick. Like what?
Damn
that means
near
what?
around my neck.
That means what? Nah, chill.
You gonna do what to who? Because of what? I don't think so, my boy. not in my soul. Huh?
Yo, I remember the first time me being a young guy, I saw a guy with the spider web on his elbow.
Yeah.
I never wanted to get tattoos, right? Like I never liked tattoos or piercings. But that tattoo, it looked so dope.
Yeah, it did.
Like, yo, that looks fire.
Yeah.
And then I found out what that meant. Yeah, about that.
Yeah, I'm straight. Legitimately. Legitimately.
I'm good.
I'm straight.
Yeah, I'm good.
All the way.
I'm good.
And this is what.
Oh, and also the teardrops.
Oh yeah.
I never knew the meaning to that.
Yeah.
When I found out, I started pictures of people with teardrops started coming across. Like, oh wow, I was around. Killers.
Yeah, and then had no clue.
Killers.
And then like when I hanging in the street and then learning a few things is like, not only did I not know what they meant, I didn't know what the empty ones meant, and I didn't know what the full ones meant.
Yeah.
And then I began to realize, like as you said, oh, I used to hang around dudes with 4 or 5 of them on their face, and it was colored in. Protection of ignorance and God's grace is what protected us, because we sitting outside with a bunch of wolves and don't even know it.
For real. Wolves, lions, tigers, and bears.
Oh my. Oh my.
Yo,
oh my.
The references are on point today, boy.
Yo, it's the magic, man. It's the magic, bro. This is us cooking up in the studio right now. We here cooking right now. But the reason I'm even bringing this up right now is because, like, I myself personally, I went through something this past week with Amazon, bro, that took me that happened in front of my kid that showed me my growth and maturity. So I sent you in the notes was that everyone you fight isn't your enemy, and everyone that helps you isn't your friend.
That's a fact.
I learned that the hard way.
That is reality right there.
And so what happened was, for any of y'all don't know, I do Amazon Flex, and that's basically you just pull your car up to Amazon, they throw packages in your whip, and you drive off and you deliver them, whatever, like that, right? So this one day, I'm parked in a regular spot.
My man has like 25 side gigs. That's just one of them.
Yo, entrepreneurial life, baby. I'm outside. So, you know, the parking lot is a regular parking lot, and everybody gets their own slot, right? So I park in mine regular, directly in, no angles, directly in. So a dude pulls in on my left side of me and just pulls in, but he pulls in and there's no room for me to open my door. So I'm like, yo, bro, you couldn't chose somewhere else to go? Like, and I ain't gonna lie, I was a little peeved off in my tone when I was talking to him. So he was like, yo, but I'm parking my car. So I'm like, yo, bro, it's mad tight. There's other spots over here. Why didn't you park somewhere else? He rolls his window up. I almost curse him out. Leave it alone. He gets out of his car, comes around me and goes, you got all this room over here. Why you don't move over to me? So I'm like, you mother. Bro, you pulled in here after me. Why are you making it so weird? Like, why are you going through all this? Go about your business. So now he's still standing there talking about this spot. Now I'm getting a little even more aggravated. So I'm like, yo, bro, listen, do me a favor. Stop talking to me, bro. Like, do yourself a favor now. Stop talking to me. Because it can
the
get
ninja
dark.
in you is coming out.
Yeah. I'm definitely certified ninja at that point. Word, certified. So I'm like, yo, go about your business. So now he gets in his car because I guess he feels the tension now and sits there. But now I'm worked up now and I'm looking. I'm like, I realize it's not me that's parked wrong. It's the person on the other side of him that's parked wrong. So when I go over there and look, I bang on homie door. Hey, yo, bro. You telling me to move over? Why don't you knock on this man, tell him to move over, bro? Look how he's parked. He's like, oh, Bobby, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it. I said, no. When he said sorry, I became to calm down. Bobby, I don't want to have no problem with you. I'm trying to let you know I'm not your issue out here. I'm not parked sideways. It's him. Now, this is when the story switches. He goes, I apologize. I'm sorry. Can I teach you something?
Okay.
So now my ego is a little bit of in the way. I'm about to tell him, kick rocks and get my face. Some said no, hear him out. I said, what's up, bro?
The educated side in you said, you know what?
The ninja calmed down a little bit. The ninja stepped back. And common sense is like, yo, hear him out. I said, what's up, bro? Teach me what? He said, yo, I can make sure that this package you can get out of here faster than this. How? what I was doing was I was basing each package. I was taking the package off the numbers. They give you a SKU number. And each number I was marking down in number order. So from the first stop all the way to the last stop, I would mark them by number. What he knows, because he used to work for Amazon directly, was that they put stickers on them A through D. So where I'm sitting outside in the warehouse marking all these packages down, he simply looks in there, throws A, throws B, throws C, throws D, and goes. Bro, that little small thing that man taught me saved me an hour and a half on every route. An hour and a half.
Wow.
I was just like, thank you, bro. And like the day he showed to me, it didn't help me because I was already packed up already. But the next day the next 2 days when I went back and I did it, I was like, yo, I'm on a road where I'll still be sitting outside scanning these packages into the truck. Like, it's amazing what would happen if you stop and get out of your own feelings and hear somebody out, bro. Yeah. Because remember just last week I told you about the girl who lost her wallet.
Yep.
So here I am. I could have been in the same position to say, you know what, get out my face, bro. I don't want to hear you out. And I wouldn't have learned. That's why I said to myself, lesson. Every person that you fight with is not your enemy, because me and this person potentially had a knockdown drag out about a parking spot a few seconds ago, but turned out he taught me something that actually benefit me in the long run. And I've also had people that help me.
And they just help you because they have their own
ulterior motives. Absolutely.
Their own motive behind it.
So that's the lesson I wanted to drop off this week, is that you don't know who your angel really is. Sometimes your angel might show up in the way that your regular attitude or your regular character of energy or the regular state of mind you're in might not be the right space to be in, and you might actually lose out if you don't switch it up, man. So I was grateful that I let that little altercation, that little minor altercation, not be something major, and it turned out to be something that I learned from and I can use, man. So that was a lesson I learned this week. That don't let your emotions take you for a spin when you could just actually sit back and just let it ride and learn something from the situation. Yep. That was me learning this week. I learned. I grew this week. So did you grow this week?
He learned.
Word. Did you grow this week? Because I grew this week. Did you grow? Write it down in the comments. Let us know if you grew this week, man. What else we got on the docket? Oh, here we go. So, I got a lot of slack a few months ago when people, especially from the church community, I went on a podcast and I was speaking about sex before marriage. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the church community had my head because they feel like it's not the right thing to do, right? You're supposed to get married first, and I believe that there's a right and wrong thing to do. There's a right and wrong. But as for me, right, I tell everybody this: I don't preach from my Bible to anyone, because my Bible it holds no weight, right? I only teach and preach from the good book because that's what I'm supposed. That's the righteous thing to do. But when you ask me what did I do and how did I go about doing it, I did have sex before marriage, and I'm glad I did, to be honest, because I was in a space before I got with my wife that I was trying to do that. I was trying to go about it the way of not having any intercourse with the woman I was dating and just trying to do it the right way. And no disrespect to her or anyone else, I'm glad I went about it the way I did, because if I didn't, I'd be a cheating mess right now. Because if you look at the woman I was talking about before my wife and my wife now, polar opposites. Polar. North and South polar opposites. Whole different beast, right? Yeah. Personality, physicality, everything. Totally different. And if I would have went ahead and did it the way somebody else told me to do it, I wouldn't be where I am right now with the woman that I have right now. And as pleased as I am with my wife as I am right now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
So my question to you is, because I got so much flack from it, what is your standpoint on sex before marriage, bro?
The great book says that we should hold off till after till after we're married.
Right.
But then again, this book was written in archival times, I would say.
And that AC and BC and all that.
So
AD, BC.
You know, I really never put thought. I really never put thought into it. But I truthfully, I didn't withhold till after marriage. I believe that you should go with how you feel at that moment with the person that you're with, and understanding the consequences behind it, right?
Yeah.
If you once you understand that this person is the person that you're going to lay with, understand that at that moment that you lay with this person, you are also carrying whatever it is that they carry.
Absolutely.
So their demons become yours.
Yeah.
As your demons becomes theirs.
Correct.
Right? And even after you break up, some of those demons stay with you.
Yes. Soul ties
So
are real.
you need to put all of that into perspective before actually laying with somebody. I'm big on that. I always said that I would withhold from having children to the best of my ability until I find the person that I will stay with for the rest of my life.
Absolutely. And that, Jose, for that statement right there is what I lived my life on. Yo, every woman that I've ever slept with, and I'm not trying to brag.
Don't say no number.
It's crazy. The number is crazy. But out of all of them, right?
I don't know what he's talking about, baby. I'm not involved in that. All right, keep going.
Real rap, bro. Out of everyone will tell you I've ever been with, they will tell you that boy will run if you say the word baby. You will never see me again if you mention the word baby around me, because I was that serious about making sure that I did not create a child with someone I was not going to be with. Yeah. Like, people don't understand, like, out of the 8 years that me and my wife, we spent together before we got married, we lived together for 8 years. There was no children. Intentionally. Right? Intentionally. 8 years of living together, sleeping with each other, no children. Why? Because we were both focused on making sure that when we bring a child onto this earth, we're both sure that we're not going nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, you're creating a life. That life is bonding you together for life. Yeah. Like, it's not like that child's gonna, when you get older, oh, now you guys are not bonded. No, you're bonded now for life.
And every single thing you do, in one way or another, will affect that child.
Everything.
Everything. So, my biggest thing was that I have a whole bunch of uncles that are whores.
Yeah. Shout out to them, to the whore uncles.
I love you guys.
I
just gotta make sure that I put this into perspective. So
I'm a reformed whore, so shout out to the whores out there.
Word. And I saw what some of my cousins endured growing up with their father not being there as much as they wanted their father to be there, and how much that affected them growing up, right? And that played a big factor into how I looked at life, right? Because I did have my father and I did have my mother, with all of their differences and no household is perfect.
Of course not.
Right?
Of course not.
But they made sure that they stuck through for if as much as it was for them, for us as well.
Right.
Right. So that's why I always said, you know what, I can't allow my future children to go through what my cousins have gone through, because I know how much they hurt. I know how much pain they're in because of the situations, because we've cried together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I've seen it. So that played the big factor in making sure that the day that I found, the day that I was introduced to my wife, when I went and met her family, I said, well, no matter what, we're going to figure out a way to make this work. If I have to grab my ego and make it go away, me being a big egotistical person that time, right? Like, I thought my shit didn't stink.
Right.
I thought I ran the world type situation. Right. And to come and place myself in front of this young lady, because truthfully, when I met her, she was in a better place financially, education-wise, than I was. Mm-hmm. And to me, that set a standard. Mm-hmm. It was, well, she doesn't need me. How am I gonna bag this shorty?
Right.
Right? Like, who am I? I'm just another ninja from the street.
Right.
I'm just this dude from the hood who out here doing all sorts of crazy shit.
Right.
But you know what? I could be that guy. I could learn how to be that guy. And for me to be able to do that, it's gonna first take me grabbing my ego and shoving it up my, you know what, and saying, if this is the person I want to be with for the rest of my life, if this is the person I want to create a family with, it's time to pull myself up by my bootstraps, like they say. Yeah,
you ain't lying. Shout out to Snoop. Snoop said, you gonna know when it's time to change, nephew. Mm. You gonna know when it's time to change. And a couple of my young homies kept asking me that a few years ago. And shout out to those gentlemen right now, because those gentlemen are now, both of them are actually both married now. Their names slipped me right now. One is Daryl. Other homie, don't hold it to my head, not to my heart. I forgot your name. But they both was asking me, yo, RJ, how'd you know? Like, how'd you know she was the one? Like, what was it? And I always give them the same answers. Like, you gonna know it.
You gonna know.
You're gonna know it. And it's not gonna be something that someone else is gonna tell you. It's gonna be an internal feeling that only you know.
You know.
And it might sound crazy to others, but you're gonna know it for 100% fact. Like I told Cassie, my wife, I told her, it's crazy. Like when I saw her, the first time I saw her in that bar where she was my bartender at, I didn't even see her face. I saw her back, her silhouette, and her cheeks. And I told her, even to this day, when I saw her, those cheeks, she's mine. She's mine. And the truth of the matter is, she'll tell you, I came in and I was looking crazy. I had on breakaway pants, a tight thermal, trying to show off all the muscles, and some uptowns. And I was looking crazy. I was in the bar, not caring. And I was when she turned around, she's like, "What do you want to drink?" I was like, "I'm gonna marry you." She's like, "Whatever. What do you want to drink?" And here we are now. You know what I'm saying?
My wife told her cousin, because I met her through her cousin. Her cousin is my compadre. And she used to always, I don't want to meet none of your thug friends. I don't want to meet none of your hoodlum friends.
The hoodlums. I love that word.
Your hoodlum friends. And I was such a conceited little ninja. Yeah. He comes to the block that day and I'm showering. I'm in the shower. And he calls me like 3 times. He's like, yo, I didn't pick up because I was in the shower, but by the 3rd time I hear it ringing, so I picked it up. And he goes, yo, I'm coming down the block. I want you to meet my cousin. I'm like, all right, I'll be out in a minute. Mm-hmm. Took me like another 30 minutes before I come out.
You gotta get fresh. You gotta get right.
Oh, man. And came outside, and at that point, she was acting like, she stayed in the car. She ain't come out. None tight. Of that.
You wasted my time.
Yeah. So
shout out to the beginners, man.
I asked her best friend, they're like cousins. They grew up like cousins. Mm-hmm. I asked her for her number, and from there it was history. And from there it's history. And one thing I wanna tell our ladies that are out there that are listening is, most of the time, the men that you meet or the young men that you meet are not gonna be in the place that they want to be. Don't shut them down, because you don't know what that person has the capability of being. And just because you see somebody who isn't at the standards that you believe you want at that point in life, you might have just lost the greatest opportunity of having the greatest man of your life next to you, because he doesn't make enough money, or he's not financially well, or he's trying to figure it out. And that's not what you're looking for, because you're looking for somebody who's already there, because you are already there.
Bro, you hit a nerve on that one. You really knocked the wind out of me with that one, because when I look back, I'm so grateful my wife didn't give up on me, bro. She's supposed to have gave up on me. She was supposed to give up. And because she didn't, we're sitting in a space where a lot of our friends aren't. People that got together with us, relationships that were created with us, around us, that were a part of our lives, people are no longer together. Yo, baby, thank you for not giving up on me. Word, thank you. Thank you for not throwing the towel in when it was stupid hard, when I made it that hard. Because to your point, I didn't know what I had. I didn't know what I was doing, because I didn't have a mindset. I didn't have someone telling me, go this way, do this. I was figuring it out as I was going along. And anyone who's ever been in a space where they didn't have any guidance, you know that every step you take, you're just taking it because you have to move. You don't even know if you're going in the right direction now. You're just moving because you can't stay still. So everything that you're doing is a trial and error. And in that space and time of my life, all I knew was that all I had to do was just maintain and be what I had to be for me. I didn't know what it meant to see about somebody else. I didn't know what it meant to live for someone else, to not be selfish. And all those lessons I just mentioned, it came on the back of my wife, bro. Like, and I'm not telling women out there to suffer and go through the things that I put my wife through, because as a man I stand right now, I wouldn't coach a woman to go through that, because I had no business putting her through the things I put her through, because I had no business being with her when I wasn't ready for her yet. And that's my truth. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sit here and coach another man to put a woman through what I put my wife through, because it's not right. But the one thing I'm grateful for is the fact that she did not give up on us. She didn't give up, and because she didn't give up, we have 2 beautiful children. She just committed her last year to school. She's running her business. I've been running my business now for 4 years. And all because she didn't give up on us. She didn't give up on me. So to the women out there that have a man right now that's showing you he's going to do something well. Like, let's talk about that. I wasn't sitting on my ass, Jose. I might have been doing things wrong, but I was doing things.
Yeah.
Right? I wasn't sitting down hoping and wishing and praying. I was moving and grinding and doing things to move myself forward. It might not have been the right things all the time, but it was progress. It was something to be done. But if you're sitting around and the man you're dealing with is not moving, he's not being motivated, he's not doing things, he's not disciplined enough, I'm not going to even sit here and begin to say and tell you to stick with him. Because amongst everything that I was doing, I was grinding. And she's seen that. And she just tells me all the time, she was like, yo, I didn't give up because I knew that you wasn't going to stop. Now, good, bad, or indifferent, Because when I was in the street, I was in the street. And as hard as I go now with coaching these young men, I went just as hard as in the street.
Yeah.
So it was at times where she was scared I wasn't gonna come home. And that fear too, for a black man, right?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And it's we all go through that phase. Yeah. That phase of being in the streets, doing what we gotta do in the streets, seeing ourselves in a position where we can do as we please. Right. Then we find this person and we want to change. We want to change for the better. Right. To provide them a better life. Right. Right. And we start pulling back from what we know to create a positive. Got him. The computer got me again. We start pulling back from what we know to create a positive. Right. And there are many times that we're going to sit back and say, damn, did I make the right choice? Should I go back to the streets? But the reality is that if you continue doing what's right and taking it step by step, day by day, sooner or later, that thought of going back to the streets,
it's never going to be there.
Won't be there anymore.
It can't be there.
Because you'll soon understand that going down the righteous path, doing things as they need to be done, and trying to live under the image of our Father Almighty can't be satisfied by anything else. No. By anything else.
It's a realization that comes only when you're ready for it. Because somebody told me this, Jose. Like it's been and I always sit there and think to myself, like, well, nobody ever told me that. That's a lie.
A bullshit.
Because it's been plenty of people. Strangers, acquaintances, leaders, everyone has told me at some point.
And you know what's crazy? You mentioning that? People tell us things. We heard them, but we ain't listened.
Come on. That's a fact. That is a fact.
Because it's not that it went in one ear and out the other, right? We heard what they said. Yeah. It just immediately went into subconscious memory.
Yeah, it slipped. It went in the back.
And then next thing you know, 10 years later, you're like, holy shit.
Bloop, right there.
What dude told me was for real, for real.
Facts. And it's so crazy because I remember one of my young guys, I was in 10th grade. And one of the kids that was in track that graduated my 9th grade year was cool with me. And he came back to school the next year and all that. And I'll never forget, I came out of the bathroom and I was just bubbling around doing something. I was chasing one of the girls doing something. And he walked up on me and he caught me. He's like, bro, you taking school serious? I'm like, man, what you talking about, bro? Like, you get out of here. Not my face. He's like, yo, the one thing I wish I would have did was taking it seriously. And it was crazy because like he said it registered. The world felt like it stopped in that moment. It even made an imprint on my brain right now for me to tell the story. But even that, like you said, went back to the back of the brain and I just kept on going. Yeah. Kept on going. And it wasn't until I was at a job, and this is no lie, my job before last, when I was making like $12 an hour. And I was frustrated because I had no money at the end of the week. And I was like, yo, had I just taken school seriously? And then his voice, that image of being in front of that cafeteria, him stopping me, all of it came back too. Yeah. And I was like, I can't let this happen again. I can't let a lesson that's given to me show up later on and slap me in the face as a reminder of, oh, you knew better. You know what I'm saying? I can't let that happen to me again. And that's been literally my calling card now, so where it's like, I can't allow this to happen to me again. I can't allow somebody to give me a word of advice or knowledge and then me hear it, slap me in the face with it then, and then come back 10 years later and be like, ouch, I should have listened.
Yeah. It's like those phrases that our parents and grandparents give us when we're kids, and you don't hear them shits, right? They just say them on repeat. It's blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Charlie Brown.
But then all of a sudden, you start hearing those phrases.
Clearly.
You start hearing them.
Crystal.
Like, bro, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's crazy. My grandmother, I was saying this story earlier. When my brother had his 2 kids before I did, and she would always say, "When you gonna have yours? When you gonna have yours?" And I used to tell her,
that question,
Grandma,
come on,
Grandma, it's not a race. It'll happen when it happens, right? And she said this. The first one she said was, "Well, if God don't give you children, the devil gives you nephews."
That's a new one. I never heard that one before. That's a new one.
Right. And that is just one of those things that sticks. So, future comes. I ended up having Selena, my kids, one right after the other because they're only 13 months apart.
Yeah.
And after Junior was born, she comes and she says, "Well, the one that's coming behind isn't too far behind if he's coming with guns." It's those little phrases that stay stuck. And like
wow, what are you talking about? Like what?
Oh man.
Yo, and all the sayings and all those things, they lived on.
Yeah.
Because they was taught on those things and they swear by them, bro.
Yeah.
So like we be laughing at them, but they be dead ass serious.
I kid you not, bro. I feel like I'm gonna be that grandparent. I'm gonna
you have a whole bunch of sayings for all your grandkids. Nah, yo, I honestly, I'm probably be one of them old grandpas that don't say too much. Just I'm gonna be a chill grandpa. I ain't gonna have too much to say, bro. I'm gonna be like,
man.
I ain't gonna be that old grandpa. Get off my lawn. You know what I'm saying?
None of that. I'm gonna be the one with all the little sayings and all that, repeating what my grandparents used to say.
I'm gonna be giving out dollars and candy. Get away from grandpa. Get up out of here.
They gonna stay on you, but like that, bro.
Now I'm a Simpson store. Go ahead, get up out of here.
I guess you ain't do it twice that you repeating that. Didn't we just say earlier that grandparents did it right because they had 2 chances? Well, you give away your money like that means you only did it once.
Yeah, listen. Hopefully my grands will love the fact that they can spend granddaddy's money. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have enough money for the grands to run through it and just spend all the cash and leave me alone. That's the prayer. But yo, I got something before we get up out of here, bro. And when I read this, I felt like we could help. A 26-year-old dude, and he's married to a 26-year-old female. He says, "I need help. I don't think my wife likes me anymore. My wife has been acting distant. She's been avoiding spending time with me. She's not affectionate anymore. And when I try to initiate physical contact, she pulls away. I've tried talking to her about it, but she just says everything is fine and doesn't want to talk about it. I don't know what to do. I love my wife. I want our relationship to succeed, but I feel like she's lost interest in me. I'm not sure if I did something wrong or if there's something going on with her that I don't know about. I just feel like I'm lost and I need some help. Please help me decide my next move."
A whole bunch of questions are just running through my head right now. And the first one is, do they have any kids? How many do they have?
I would say,
how old are they?
At 26, let's just go and say that they don't. Let's hope. At 26,
if you have no kids and she lost interest,
yeah. Don't do that, Jose. Don't do that. We're supposed to be helping, man, not laughing. Yo, listen, we're not laughing at you. Hopefully, we're laughing with you. My bad. Okay. I'm not gonna mess with Jose right now. I'm gonna read this again so I can get back into my coach mode. Okay. 26 years old, right? Let's say for argument's sake, there are no children, right? Let's say that they're in a space where they're enjoying their union, right? And at 26, acting
how
distance.
How long they've been together.
Right. Like when did y'all get together? When did this come about, right?
How did it come about?
And if the first sentence is my wife is acting distant and avoiding spending time with me.
So we're gonna assume that they're married because he said wife.
Right. No, they're definitely married. He said wife multiple times in this. So we're going with he's married. They're married, and the distancing. The first thing in the first sentence says, my wife has been acting distant and avoiding spending time with me. Now, as a coach, my first job is to find out what that means, right? My question to you is, she's acting distant. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Right? And I've been with my wife now for over 15 years. So have you been with your wife now 20 years. And you know, like I know, acting distant and being distant is two different things.
Yes.
And the acting part could be only within us. It could be nothing to do with them.
Yep.
Because how many times has it been where you internally felt some kind of way and you pushed it off onto your wife? Why are you acting like that? And then she's asking you, like, what are you talking about?
And now all of a sudden, she does go into that state because you've
created
already
it.
Pushed.
Right.
You've created that situation that didn't really exist.
Right. Now she's standing in it because you created it. Now she's trying to figure out what are you talking about? Right? Like, because now, for whatever reason, and this is why I tell men it's important to make sure that you understand yourself, because if not, you'll project what's going on with you onto your wife. And she'll now be wearing something that she knows nothing about. Because now, if she's acting distant, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Is that, did you try to reach for her and she's busy? Because I know for a fact that I'm king of this. I purposely wait for my wife to start doing stuff just to be affectionate with her. I'm gonna be real. Babe, I said it, babe. I wait purposely until she gets busy cooking, doing whatever she wants to do, and I want to walk up behind her and grab her cheeks, hug up on her, kiss up on her, get affectionate. I do that thing. I do it. You laughing? You do it too? I might have him, y'all. I might have him right now.
Oh, man.
You do it too?
Of course.
So guess what?
Of course.
So the acting part, it could be you're just assuming that she's pulling away because she's busy. She could be, you know what I mean, in her own world. And that's what we fail to realize too. Like, yes, they're our wives, but they're girls in their own world still, right? We're married as one, but they're still walking in their world. So amongst their day, what they're doing and going about her path, you could have just been something she just missed in that moment. And now because you're not mentally stable enough to realize, like, you're projecting, you now, she's pulling away from me. She doesn't like me. Bro, she just didn't see your advance. And I've been there. And my wife has told me, bro, I just didn't see you. I didn't realize that you were calling my attention. And in that time, because I felt like she was ignoring me, I took it personal. So it's like, oh, what? No, you don't like me or something? So I felt that in that first sentence. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not sure she's pulling away from you. Because the acting's, that's where I'm a little hesitant on to even go in, because I'm like, bro, are you sure? You're not sure. Because her being distant, as we know, being distant is very different than acting. Because when they're being distant, you know.
Yeah, because acting can be left open to interpretation.
Right.
It's like saying, I believe in God. Believing in God is open to be left for doubt.
Right.
There can be space for doubt. But when you know God,
you
see the difference. It's the same thing.
Right. It is a total same thing. And it's like
same thing.
When you have to have the internal dialogue with yourself, first and foremost, to realize, am I creating something that's not really there?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is it my emotions that I haven't? Let me step
back.
Right.
Let me step back and look at the big picture here. What's going on?
And why am I emotional about this? Right. Why am I emotional?
And why am I emotional?
Yes.
Am I projecting this? And why am I so emotional? Why do I feel like this? Am I myself dealing with a rejection, and I'm reflecting it on her?
Right.
Right. Because it seems to me as if she's being distant. Now I feel rejected, and I need to let it be known.
Right. Because now you're hurt, because you're feeling like you're being casted away almost. Like you're not being loved on or what have you. But the truth of the matter is that could only be internal.
Yeah.
And then we go on in a sentence is that she's not affectionate anymore. Right? Now, it's about knowing your spouse. I know that when my wife is around that time of the month, she doesn't want to be touched.
Yeah.
She doesn't want the affection, the physical touch that I need. So I know for a fact, for those 5 to 7 days, I'm going to be on my own. I'm going to have to leave her to herself because she's going through something right now.
Yeah.
She has to get through it. And me wanting to touch her and give her my sign of affection is not helping her right now.
Something else that can be seen here is, how busy are you that you're seeing, that you're feeling rejected or not being paid attention to? Are you not busy enough?
Ooh, Jose, shut your mouth. Yes, Jose. Yo, you laughing, but that's a very, very valid point, bro.
Shut your mouth.
I know you like that. Yo, but it's one of them. Yo, you hit a point with that one, bro. How many of us men are out there not busy enough that we're sitting around soaking about attention?
If you're home playing PlayStation,
man,
I don't mean this personally, but if you're home not keeping yourself busy, you're going to start seeing things that don't exist.
Ooh, yes, you will. And you'll make them.
Oh, yeah.
You'll create them.
You will.
Ow, yo, that knocked the oxygen out of my lungs, Jose, because I was there at one point in my life. When we first moved to South Florida, I came down here with only the ability to sell drugs. That's all I really knew to do. So if I can't sell drugs, what am I doing all day? I'm sitting in the house and I'm playing video games all day long, Jose.
And on top of playing video games all day, you have this ego on you of, I'm the man of the house. So you know what that ego does, right? That ego means you can't wash no dishes. You can't sweep the house. You can't mop. You can't fold clothes. You can't do laundry because I'm the man of the house. You can't cook. You see where I'm going with this? Mm-hmm. So now all these things that you're expecting that she should be doing in your mind are going to make you feel rejected, not loved, because right? I was seeing this the other day, and it hits the nail right on the head, right? Women want this successful man and man that's bringing the money in. And this isn't going for all women. I'm just trying to make a point here. But they're not willing to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to make them a sandwich before they go to work. Men want submissive women and women to cook them here and there, but they're not willing to grab a bag of laundry and go put it in the washing machine to help them. So are we speaking the same love language here?
Not even a little, not even close.
So that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. If you're sitting around doing absolutely nothing, find something to do, homeboy.
Bro, and yo, it's so real because like not only do I know it to be real, I live that. Like I live the thought process of, oh well, she's a woman, she's supposed to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like
because that's what we're taught.
Oh yeah, she's supposed to do X, Y, Z.
That's what we're taught by older society. We don't live that time no more. Those days are done.
And the truth of the matter, we didn't even see those days.
True, because my mother's
Come
a hustler.
on. You see what I'm saying? We physically didn't see those days.
My mother used to walk outside with a bag of ice and sell it to the devil while the shit was melting in his hands.
She's a hustler, baby.
She's a hustler. I kid
Shout
you
out.
not.
Nah, and let me tell you, and my mother was one of the same. My mother did everything from Mary Kay to babysitting and doing hair.
Bro.
She might even be selling drugs at the same house.
I remember my mother doing...
Nah, she wasn't selling no drugs.
I remember my mother doing Stanley presentations in the house while I was a child.
Facts.
Selling the Stanley brooms and all that.
My mother had the jewelry and the little cases. Bro. You open up the little jewelry. She went. I never forget this. We used to go to Chinatown, down in Chinatown, and get one of them big bags of jewelry for like the low, and then put them in the black cases, and she'd sell them on Sundays.
What's the name of that multi-level marketing thing that's like that everybody knows?
Mary Kay.
It's like Mary Kay, but the other one, like the one.
It's food.
Amway.
Amway.
So Stanley is before Mary Kay, before Amway, before all of that. Stanley was one of the first ones.
Mom Dukes is outside.
You ever remember those brown brooms with the yellow stem?
Yes.
That was Stanley. I know. I got the shit imprinted on my head.
He know what he talking about, y'all. He lived it.
So,
word.
We came from a time that our mothers were out there trying to make that money at the same time as our fathers were, right? But let there be no doubt. After they broke their butts hustling and doing whatever they needed to do,
talk about it.
They went home, had time to cook, clean, take care of the kids, help with homework, shower the kids.
Yeah. With no qualms.
And not complain.
Facts.
And not complain.
Hustling. Real work. And this is why for real, I stand on business when it comes down to mine, because my mother stood on business with less. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
She stood on business about us with less.
Yep.
Less help, less everything. Like right now, it's me and my wife in the house, and we're a hell of a partner, hell of a teammate. My mother didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I look back into my situation, people ask, oh, yo, it was dope because you was driving since 16 and you did car at 16. That wasn't because my mother just wanted to have me driving at 16. She needed help.
Yeah.
My stepfather couldn't drive. He had seizures. So he wasn't allowed to legally drive. So it wasn't like, oh, she wanted her son to drive. No, she needed somebody to help to be able to take some people somewhere and not have to do it all the time.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of sacrifice that made the difference. And now that I see some of them, because Jose, what I realized that we'll never know is all the sacrifices that was made for us to get here. We only know some of them. The one that our mother cried about and won't tell us about, we'll never know about those. But those are the ones that got us to where we are, because the hardest times and the hard sacrifices they did, and we didn't know nothing about it.
Yep. And there's a lot of us men that hold these grudges against our fathers. But the reality is that hold these grudges against our fathers because we didn't see them.
Facts. But
the reality is that if we did see them, you probably wouldn't have what we have.
No, it's not because probably. Guarantee we wouldn't.
Because us seeing them meant that they wouldn't be working.
And this is why I was saying to my client earlier this week. He says to me, he goes, RJ, it's so hard for us right now. And my dad he's so tough on me. I said, bro, your dad is tough on you because he came from a tougher generation than you are in. Like, I had to break it down to him. I said, yo, do you know what it takes to get a second income for your dad's era? You had to physically go somewhere else. You had to physically be someplace else. Like right now, I got 3 incomes where I don't have to touch. It just comes in through my phone. Our fathers and mothers didn't have that. They had to go somewhere else to physically do a job to get a second income.
They knew what it was to trade time for money.
The worst trade. And they made
because it never comes back.
No. And they had to make it every single day with no return.
And whoever can't sit back and say, you know what? There's no reason for me to keep holding this grudge on my pops. Because all he did was try to give me the best he could. Right. Now, there are situations where that's not the case. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about those that hold that grudge on their father because their father was never there, wasn't able to go to their basketball game or to their baseball game or to their theater show or whatever because he carried 3 jobs.
And that's why I like that for that, like I have no sympathy for people like that because you had a father you had a father. A lot of us didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're looking at one. My real father, I know he's a mechanic. Ask me more about him, can't tell you. You see what I'm saying? So if you had a father and he wasn't there every day because he was sacrificing his life to provide for you and you got an attitude about that, oh, please miss me with the bullshit. Because I trade places with you in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a heartbeat. Because at least you know what your future looks like. I'm guessing mine every day. I'm guessing. I don't know what my future looks like. I don't know what I look like old. The only way I see myself old is when I put myself on one of them apps on my phone. That's the only way.
I didn't mean to laugh.
It's true though, bro. Like, when you see your pops, you see your mannerisms, you see what you're going to turn into.
Yo, bro, it's crazy that you say that because I put my face in one of those get old apps.
Yeah.
And I was a fucking spitting image of my father, just dark skin. And I said to myself, like, golly.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I thought I would look more like my mother.
Yeah.
Bro, spitting image of my pops, bald and everything. And I'm like, bro, I can't let go of this little last bit. I'm holding on to it like this.
Yo, bro, on the low, me too right now. In ways I'm looking like, I gotta keep this going for at least 5 more.
I go to the barber and I say, yo, it's a 2 on the top. don't go further down than the 2 on the top.
Let me live a little while longer. Let me hold on, right? Let me hold on. Let me stay strong. Don't wipe it off.
Blend it a little so that it doesn't look like there's holes and shit.
Bro, I ain't gonna hold you. And shout out to my new barber because he be spraying me with a little black spray and
I don't like that shit, bro. It look too dark, then it look fake.
So you don't even know mine. You don't even know when he's spraying mine. So my man be doing the thug thizzle.
The thug thizzle?
It's light. He be in certain spots. And then I'll be like, oh, I was thin there. You got me looking right. Shout out to my man. But this is that 40 pains. But yo.
But all jokes aside, for being 45, bro, I gotta lie.
Yeah.
I got some cousins in the early 30s that them shits are
struggling.
Bro, the sun can't hit it. They'll blind everybody.
Yo, they cousins gonna come for you. Your cousins gonna come for you.
They know I love them. I ain't mentioning names, so.
Yo, and you know what cousin gonna kill us right now? The cousin about the tangent, because we definitely jumped off the story about the dude that we're supposed to be helping right now. Yo, listen, this is a part of the conversation. We apologize, but we don't. But before we go, because we got to get up out of here. We've been chopping for a little minute. But one thing I do want to point out to this gentleman is that If number one, you didn't do anything wrong, right? Because you said you don't know. And I have a hard time with that too.
Yeah.
My coaching sensors start going off. She was like, you do know if you did something wrong or not. You know.
Yeah.
So if you did something wrong, you're going to have to make that right. But let's say you didn't, right? And you're feeling this way. My only advice to you would be go back to what she found attractive. If you've changed in a way, which you probably have if you have been together for some time, go back to what got her. You know what I'm saying? Like, remind her who you are. If that's getting your body back in shape, if that's talking to her like you used to, if it's spending time with her, whatever that may be, it was something about you in the beginning that caught her attention. And you knew what it was. Go back to that. Find out, go back to your beginning essence, because that's where it's at.
Yeah. Well, the advice that I would give him is move back, look at everything that's going on, and understand that there's a great possibility that it's only within you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And if you're just sitting around doing nothing, you're going to start seeing illusions within your own mind.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
If that is not the case and you are busy and you're still seeing this situation, we go to what you're saying. Start understanding her love language. Because what you seek as intimacy is not what she seeks as intimacy or seems as intimacy. What you want to be done to you and what speaks to you and makes you fall in love is not what's making her fall in love.
Right. Find
out what that is. And hopefully that helps.
Yeah, bro. It's a tough one because you're in a space of so many questions. I would say, above all, get answers to those questions.
Yeah.
Sit down and literally ask the questions that are plaguing your mind. Give her the opportunity to answer your questions. Don't assume. Don't guess. Because all it's going to lead to is more internal conflict in you. And like to Jose's point, it could very well be just internally. It could very well be just you not spending time with you. And I think that there's a lot of us that project our internal conflicts on our spouse because we won't take the time to see about ourselves. Like, I always say this, like, if your wife, Jose, came in the house today with a brand new hairdo and you said nothing about it, how long before you would have to deal with some kind of smoke?
Bro, you get no cheeks for the rest of the year.
Boom, right? You'll be cheekless. What makes you think that your own personal being doesn't have that kind of energy towards you? If you don't spend time with yourself, you don't spend time with getting to know yourself internally, intimately, right? Not any weird way, right? We ain't talking about masturbation, none of those things. We talk about legitimately understanding who you are, right? And spending time with your quality time with yourself. After a while, you're going to find yourself annoyed for no reason, snapping on people for no reason whatsoever. And you'll ask yourself, why am I like this? Only because you haven't spent time with yourself.
Self-love.
You haven't given yourself the self-love you deserve. So I would say to you, before it all, before you even go and confront her, confront yourself. See, is it really something that you're dealing with externally, or is it something that you need to deal with internally? Because if it's an internal job, you can't outsource that. There is no way to outsource that. You can holler at me. We can sit down. I can run you through some coaching programs, some techniques. But guess what? At the end of the day, you gotta do the work. And it's just that simple.
If that's not the best way to end this, I don't know what is.
Listen, as always, y'all, we didn't say it early, but we all gonna say it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. hit that bell notification too so you can get notified when another dope episode drops. So we are down to 1:30. We did a 1 hour and a half today. Pretty good. What you got for the good people before we get up out of here, Jose?
Keep being yourselves. Keep pushing forward. Love, be kind, keep being imperfect.
Hey, this week I'm going to say this. Protect yourselves and your children digitally. Make sure that you're doing your due diligence to stay as active in the social world as you are in their physical world. Because that digital world is just as dangerous. And what you're really doing is you're protecting them digitally today for their tomorrow when you're no longer there to protect them. Because as we said earlier, digital world is going to be around for a very long time, and it could be the devastation of their tomorrow if we don't protect them today. So don't get tired, parents. Actually get motivated.
I have a word of advice before we close this.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have your child on screen time on an iPhone and you're updating your phone, make sure your child's phone is updated because they shit gets bypassed.
Shout out to the smart techie babies of the world, right? Shout out to the techie babies of the world. Yo, listen, to all you fathers out there, make sure that you're staying at least 10 steps ahead of your children as best as you possibly can. Be active, bro, in their lives. I can't stress this enough, bro. Like, be in their shit. Like, it might seem intrusive.
Privacy law.
It might seem abrasive. It might seem all those things, but I need you fathers to have the confidence and the ability to be the bad guy until it's time for you to be the good guy. You have to be the bad guy, bro. We have to be. And you have to be confident enough in your space and their life that they're going to understand later that you did what you had to do today for their tomorrow. So fellas, that's going to take a lot of us saying what we have to say during the day and crying at night. Do what you must do, but still be strong enough to be the bad guy when you need to be, because your children need the protection, man.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, good people, it's been a phenomenal time, and thank you for chilling with us. You could have been anywhere else for the last hour and a half, but you decided to chill and poly with us, and for that, we appreciate you, and we don't take it for granted. So with that being said, fathers, to the world, just a dad. But to your family, you are the world. And don't let that go over your head. And until the next time we see you in these podcast streets, be good to yourself and the ones around you. And if you can't be good to the people around you, don't trip. Just get those people from around you. Yo, this is your boy RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, and
your boy JP, the Imperfect Husband.
And this has been another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Y'all be blessed, because we will.